The year was 1415, and an African empire was about to change the world. Picture this. Portuguese explorers were preparing to sail down the African coast, searching for gold, spices, and routes to Asia. But what they didn't realize was that they were about to encounter civilizations far more advanced than their own. This is the story we often miss. This is the African history that textbooks refuse to teach. And today, we're going to test your knowledge of the real Africa, the Africa that shaped our world. Let me ask you something. Do you know who Mansa Musa was? In 1324, this West African emperor undertook a pilgrimage to Mecca that would echo across the globe for centuries. Traveling with 60,000 people and 80 camels, each carrying 300 pounds of gold, Mansa Musa didn't just make a journey, he made history. His wealth was so legendary that when he passed through Cairo, the price of gold crashed. Imagine one man's generosity collapsing an entire region's economy. That's the power of African wealth that Europe tried to erase from our memory. Fast forward to the 16th century. While Europe was emerging from its medieval darkness, the Kingdom of Congo was a sophisticated state with its own written language, diplomatic relations, and complex governmental structures. By 1506, the Congolese had already established trade networks and were communicating with European powers as equals. They weren't the subjects of history, they were the architects of it. Now test yourself on this one. What if I told you that African astronomers and mathematicians had mapped the stars centuries before Copernicus? The ancient Egyptians, specifically around 2500 BCE, had already calculated the length of the solar year to within a fraction of a day. They built the pyramids using mathematical principles so precise that modern engineers still marvel at their accuracy. These weren't primitive societies. These were advanced civilizations. Let's move forward to 1652. This is when the Cape Colony was established, a moment that changed everything. What began as a refueling station for Dutch traders would become the launch pad for one of history's greatest crimes, apartheid. But centuries before that moment, the Khoikhoi people had thrived in that exact region. They had herds of cattle, sophisticated pastoral systems, and a deep knowledge of the land. When Europeans arrived, they didn't discover Africa, they invaded it. Here's a question that might stump you. Can you name the Great Zimbabwe? This vast stone fortress, built between the 11th and 15th centuries, stands as one of Africa's greatest architectural achievements. Its walls still stand in modern-day Zimbabwe, testimony to an empire that controlled trade routes worth billions in today's currency. Yet how many history classes mention it? How many documentaries celebrate it the way they celebrate European castles? Between 1870 and 1940,